Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Moontime Devotions on this fine morning. It's approximately 4:08 in the morning, and we're just so happy to see you and be with you today. So, last week's episode was about origins. We talked about the Moontime Devotions history, and we talked about the rich history in which the story, if you will, of how the show started and everything that happens behind the scenes and all those beautiful things, which was wonderful, right? It was very nice and very happy and very good, and it was quite the depiction of it. So, our best part of this episode is our new equipment that we are getting every day. So we've got our new stage light from our beautiful subscriber Boogeyman57. We thank you very much for a new stage light. We're very happy, and so our behind the scenes crew is they're working on setting up this Patreon. Sooner or later we can get this Patreon up and running on to the background of the YouTube short interface description. We'll put it in the description, and we'll get that up and running sooner rather than later. We've got a crew of 6 in the behind the scenes. Me being the pure, the main editor, if you will. I'm the sole editor of Moontime Devotions, and so I keep forgetting to put it in the description. But we will put it in the description very soon, folks, and you'll be able to donate more than you already have on there. And so we just thank you very much. We thank you for your super buttons and your super stickers and your super chats. They help us tremendously keep the show off and running. So let's see where to begin here on this beautiful morning of Moontime Devotions. I tell you, one thing we might be invested in getting is a harness of some kind, or some kind of magnetic, what do they call it? The little put that there, little tripod things where you put your phone on the thing. That might do us well for future episodes. That's something we're definitely looking at, folks. The cool thing is we've got our UV makeup light. See, on this show, we don't have to put on makeup as much as the other TV shows out there, because our light kind of gives us a good. It outshines all the imperfections and all the stuff here. If there's anything you want to do to edit my appearance, folks, you let us know. There's so many different looks that we can have when we're making this show. There's so many different looks we can have. So keep that around in your noggin, scooting around in there, figuring out what y'all want to see on the next episode of Moontime Devotions. But nevertheless, after 7 auto cooking presets that we've really danced around here, let's get back into the show, into the Moontime, into the devotions. So convenience, power, safety, love, action, productivity, traveling is the most rewarding way to go. And the Panasonic state of the world is in a tailspin, depending on the 6 different ways you can look at it. And so today, after all the manicure and facial skincare and all that, I think what I want to filter out and really sterilize right in your mind and throw out onto the table, right? We're going to put our cards on the table here. I think what I want to talk about this fine morning was the beautiful object of money, right? Money is an object that keeps the world going round and round. As I've used this analogy before, it's kind of like eating an apple and you eat around the core, and then you get to the core, right? You get to the core of what you need. And that's kind of how the core of the earth is, what have you. You've got a volcano in the core of this earth, and money is used on all sides to reach that core eventually. And so I always love using the apple to bananas, apples to apples rather, analogy to circulate, or to show how money circulates around the world. Money is what keeps the world going, and that's a beautiful thing. There's lots of religious organizations that have lots of money, and so that's a great avenue of making money, is religion, business, entertainment. There's so many different, many vast, facets to making money, and many ways to get assets and to continue to really make money. So my first point with money is because money can sometimes not be a very good thing, and it could take away from your happy life, right? Your happy life. So you want your happy life to be crucial, when you're dealing with money. But money keeps the world going, and so my first point is gathering your money like acorns. So early in the morning, I look out my window, and I see the squirrels, and they go up and down. They go up and down the tree, and they go around the corner, and they when no one's looking, they grab their acorns, they go into a little spot in the grass, and they dig up a hole, and they put their acorn down there. And they don't look down there till the sun don't shine. You know what I mean? They don't look down there till kingdom come. And that's beautiful, and that's one way you can make lots of money on earth here, is to stash it away. Hibernate, right? Hibernate your money, because things are getting more expensive, and we just never know how the economy is going to be, and it's always fluctuating up and down, kind of like love, action, productivity, right? It's an always fluctuating thing. You never know. It's never stationary, and so that's how I like to look at the money situation. One of the best ways to save it is to hibernate with it. Hibernate with your funds. You can gather, sticks and stones and coins and investments and profit, and you can gather it all together and take it to your cave and sleep on it, right? And then, what they do, they said you save a quarter a day for a year, you would have I think $50, and it doesn't matter how much you have, but that's a lot. When you've saved it over time, you've allocated lots of money to save. And a lot of people tell me, well, oh, Graham, I can't spend this, I can't spend that, I gotta save my money, I can't spend money on this, I can't spend money on this. Yes, you can. You can spend money and save it. See, you spend money on the expenses you need, and then you can save the rest, and over time, the rest that you have will be a large sum. It'll be a large sum, and so that's my second point, is spend to save. Right? Sometimes you gotta spend to save. And so that's exciting, folks, is money can be a happy thing. It can be we'll get to that point later, but so yes, my first point is hibernate on it. Get your money and put it away. Just put it away, allocate an amount that you think is fair in your budget, and put that away. Put it into a savings account, put it in a retirement account, put it in your own wallet. You could put it in an envelope and stick it in the freezer, stick it under your bed. You could put it under the car. It might get lost in there. Put it in the trunk of the car, whatever. You could put your money away, and then then you're less inclined to spend it. And so that was my first point, is you can do that. My second point is spend to save money, right? So the money you do have to spend, whatever's left over, could continue to grow exponentially and turn into a great amount or a deal of money later down the road. And so that's a great way to also save money, is to just quite literally spend. Here's an example. Back in the day, I could go buy me I could have me a $5 bill, right? And I could go buy me a bag of chips. And so I'd buy the bag of chips is like $2.50, and after you spent the $2.50, um, you have, you know, give or take about $3 left. And what you could do with those $3 is, or those other $2.50 that you have left over, depending on how expensive the establishment you're frequenting is, you could take that money and throw it away. Save it away, put it into your little gunny sack and run away with it. And so that's what I would do. Is all my leftover money that I had. Sometimes it was just a quarter. It didn't matter. It could be a dime. Sometimes it was just a dime. But you save all that and put it in a jar. Now I had a beautiful woman that I used to know who run a very successful little antique store, and she did that exact thing. And after after about 5 or 6 years of saving money in this big jar, probably about as big as this cup, she had enough money to go to Paris. And that was simply by spending, which in return helped her save. And so spending smartly, I guess, is a way you could put that one. That's my second point, is spend smart. Because then you can save what you have left over, And so there's another point that I like to say about money. Now, my third point that I was getting into a little early, but I'll get into it now that we've arrived to its time. As best as I could schedule this out at 4 in the morning, of course, mind you. Speaking of which, let's wipe the eyes and continue to wake up and smell the coffee. Money isn't a happy thing. Money isn't always a happy thing. It can cause a lot of distress. It can cause a lot of separation in families. It can cause issues. It can cause jealousy. It can be kind of a hindrance. It starts wars. Money isn't always a happy thing, and so one of the ways you can make money more of a happy thing is to value it less, right? And so this one's a little tricky. This is a mind trick you have to do with money, because money is extremely valuable. They tell me, "Oh my gosh, Graham Smith, the money isn't valuable." What do you mean? I can't do that. And I says, well, you have to change it in your mind. See, money is valuable. Trust me. I like brushing my teeth at night. I need my toothpaste, and I love my coffee. Hallelujah. But what you can do in your mind is devalue it a little bit. It's almost like if you really love it, put less value on it. Put less urgency on that. And in your mind. And that can make it easier to save more, to get more, and to spend better. Because in your mind, you no longer value it as much as you may practically need to, right? So keep the practical value of your money, the urgency even in that respect as well, if needed. But also psychologically, just remember that, I don't value this piece of paper, right? But the society I live in does. And so out of practicality, out of pragmatism, out of pragmatic thinking, I'm going to spend, use, and allocate and uphold this money like I value it. But psychologically, I'm going to treat it like I don't value it, like I don't need it. Like, this isn't important in my life, and it's as important in my life as breathing, right? I wake up, I can't breathe, and I wake up, That's more important, I would say. And so there's a little mind trick you can do, because money is not always a happy thing. And so what you can do is you can make money not as valuable in your mind, but still spend it and use the action of the money to move forward in your life and your investments and what have you, and you're saving. And so that's one way that's really helped me with money, is because money sometimes has been, I'm human. Sometimes money's been a stressful thing. But it wasn't until I changed the psychological view in my mind of how money works, I stopped valuing it as much, right? It's kind of like the gold, right? You look at gold. Let's say you go find a big gold nugget outside, right by the creek. You know, hypothetically, right? This we haven't seen this kind of thing since the 1800s. But let's hypothetically say you find a big nugget of gold, and you're wondering, you're like, man, what? You're valuing, right? You have the Goldilocks. You got stardust in your eyes. You're like, da, 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 da. You know, I would be. I'm only human. But what you can do instead is you can look at that gold, and you can be like, well, you know, it's just a rock. It's just a rock. Yes, it could help me. Practically, it's a reward, if you will, or a blessing, but only on this earth, only on this planet, right? When it comes to your spirit, or your soul, or heck, even your brain, that gold won't do you no good, right? It's not gonna do anything. It's only in the practical world, you know, the things that you can see, the things you can touch, the things you haven't seen when you got your gun. And so that's one way to look at it, is instead of looking at it, you know, with gold fever, which is real back in the day, you could just look at it as, oh, this is a rock, you know, and it's no big deal, and it's whatever it is. And let's say there was somebody also who saw it right when you saw it, right? And they went over and they were crazy over it, and they pick it up and they say, oh, this is so much gold, and I could do so much with this. And you tell them, well, I saw that piece of gold first. And they say, well, we don't care, we're taking it home, you know. That's what I mean. That's where the psychological switch could go, and you could say, well, to me, it's just a rock. Let them have it. Let them have it, right? And funny enough, this is the way the universe works. You let things just be sometimes, and you'll be surprised what comes back your way. This has happened to me in my experience as well. Within a couple months of letting that go, because you didn't value a thing, you were rewarded with even more things. You were blessed with another provision of some kind. And so that's one way you can make money more of a happy, fun thing, is just devalue it in your mind. It's just not that important. It doesn't need to be. You know, you work like it is. You physically act out like it is. But mentally, it shouldn't mean anything to you, and it really shouldn't mean anything to your heart. But a lot of people get obsessed with money. There is money fever. You know, people get really invested in making lots of money, lots of money. And everybody loves making money, don't get me wrong, but it's when you get too fixated on it, like anything, you know, too much coffee can kill you. Too much of anything will kill you or hurt you or destroy your life, or can just be distracting to the really important things. And so that's my third point, is money isn't always a happy thing, but you can make it a happy thing by devaluing it in your mind. So, you know, one of the downfalls of money is gambling. So there's my fourth point. Now, folks, this is a life coach, life advice vlog, and I'm going to tell you some personal opinions here that I think. Old Graham's going to give you some advice here on my fourth point, so be ready here. Be on standby. My fourth point is don't gamble. I am a strong believer that gambling won't get you anywhere. And I'll be very specific, I guess, as I say this, is when it comes to gambling, I'm saying, you know, gambling on a slot machine, playing roulette, right? Playing cards, you know, playing games to get money, going to the casinos, going to the back rooms, you know, with some shady characters, and gambling the only little money you have for Social Security or what have you. I don't think it's a good idea, folks. I think you could do a lot more with your money. I think you'd have more fun eating a $5 bill with ketchup and mustard than you would spending it on a slot machine, you know, just to have the machine go, you lost, you know. That's no fun. And I think it's just a waste of money, in my personal opinion, you know. And if you're here watching Moontimes, hopefully you'd want to hear my personal opinion about my fourth point when it comes to money. Don't gamble, folks. Gambling doesn't seem to really work. Um, you don't want to gamble with money, that is. I'll be even more specific. Because gambling can be a good thing. You know, you can gamble with life decisions. You can gamble with, you can gamble with a lot of things. You know, philosophical gambles, your gut feeling, right? I would consider that a gamble. Just living here on Earth, just being alive is a gamble. You know, we never know when we're going to go. But when it comes to gambling money, you know, money is something that we can control in the sense of gambling, right? So don't gamble your money away because you'll probably reward yourself much better just by saving it or finding something else to spend it on, right? Because too many times I think people fall into the trap, at least my personal opinion, I've done this, where I've spent money to try to get more money and I've lost all of it. I remember a couple years ago, I went with some of my buddies. We went to the casino and I spent $200 and I didn't get anything. I just lost $200. And my friend, they won $500, which I loaned them a $20 bill. They won $500, of course, you know. That's how money is. That's how gambling is. Gambling is so unpredictable. It's just so unpredictable, and it's not something you want to rely on. And that's the problem, I think, is it's worse when you win, because when you win, you keep coming back. It's a little easier when you lose, because I think then you kind of get bit and you get it. At least my personal opinion. So don't gamble, folks. If you want to save your money, I think it's just a loss. It's just a complete loss, whether it's 50-50 or not. You know, just doing a coin toss, and you lose $1 every time. That counts up over a certain amount of time, and so don't gamble. Right? That's my opinion. That's what I think when it comes to that. So hibernate on your money. Spend your money to save more. Devalue money psychologically in your mind, and that'll help you get more in return. Don't gamble. Just don't do it, folks. It's apples to apples. You're never going to win. And if you do, you'll really lose, because you'll keep coming back and you won't win again. Personal opinion, that's just my experiment. I've never had luck gambling. Some people have. To each their own. I mean, you look at the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl was just yesterday, folks, and it was at Vegas. And so all the commercials were about gambling and slot machines, and we're going to hit it big in Via Las Vegas. And so to each their own, some people get it, some people don't. I just don't want to gamble with money, I'm already gambling with my life. I wake up every morning, I don't know if I'm going to make it. That's the truth. I could wake up with a brain aneurysm. I could get up 2 hours from now, I could have a heart attack, and life's already a gamble. Why throw your money in there too, right? But that's part of point 2, is devaluing money psychologically enough to not want to gamble, maybe. And if you have a gambling problem, please leave a comment in the description. We talk about everything on this channel, folks. We talk about sex advice, sex life. We talk about gambling, drug addiction, therapeutic. We're a therapeutic service to any problem you may have out there, folks, and we want to help you. We want to help you, even if it's just a safe place to talk. Feel free to share whatever you want to share on here, and we can help you with those things. Because here at Moontime Devotions, we've had history since 1905 in successfully helping people vent and share their opinions and just feel like they have someone who cares. Because not everybody has someone who cares. Or even most of us who have loving families who take care of us, we still feel so isolated sometimes. And so sometimes it takes an outside source, and that's just the therapeutic tool that we are so entitled to have here in America. And hallelujah, and what a blessing it is to do that. Now, point 5, when it comes to the decorative days to come, when it comes to your usage of money. So my point 5, when it comes to spending money, is spend money like you don't have tomorrow. Now, I know some of you are saying, Graham, that's very contradicting to the point you just made earlier. And I said, I know, but look at it this way, right? after everything's said and done, right? After the sand, after the dust is settled, and you've saved money, you've hibernated money, right? So this is my hypothetical example, what I mean by point 5 of spend your money like you don't have it tomorrow. So, hypothetically, it's good coffee, excuse me. So hypothetically, let's say that you've hibernated on your money, you've spent quite a bit, enough to get a return and save a lot of what you have left over, and you've devalued it psychologically in your mind, and you didn't gamble it away. So your 5th point is now that you've done all of these beautiful things, now you can spend more of your money like tomorrow doesn't matter, because you've safe practiced all these other tactics to economically improve your life. And so that's my 5th point there, is once you've done everything you can to allocate the money, or gain all the money you want, rather, now you can spend it like it doesn't matter, right? And in a sense, you can go back to point 4, because hey, that's kind of like gambling, isn't it? And so, it's full circle with money. Like I said in the beginning of this video, money is a circulation. It's a fluctuation. Circulation. Kind of like love, action, productivity. It fluctuates. It circulates. It's moving. It's breathing. It's grooving, right? It's grooving. And so that's my 5th point when it comes to money. And so that really gives you convenience with your money, gives you safety with your money, that gives you power over your money, which improves your love life, right? It improves your love, action, productivity with your partner or partners, or what have you, whatever label you like to use. And, then you have more money also to travel, and that's rewarding. And then the state of the world and the Panasonic tailspin that it may or may not be in, depending on your perspective there, you now have money to help you cushion that, right? And it's funny how all of this happened from, hibernating on money, spending it to gain, and devaluizing it in your mind. If money is no longer important, then for whatever reason you seem to get more of it because you don't care for it as much as you may have used to. And so that's just my little personal vlog this morning, my life advice for you. I hope that reaches you well, and I hope that you would consider that, folks, because money can be the root of all evil, or it could be the root of all health. It really can. And so the decision is completely up to you. And that's why it works so well. That's why our economy, though controversial right now, has been so successful over the last 150 years. And this is why the economies of the world are, not all of them, but most of them are thriving, because I think people think of money in this healthy light. And so, folks, that's my take on money. People ask me all the time, Graham Smith, what do you think about money? And what about your show? Your show doesn't make any profit. And I say, hey, I know. Our show doesn't make any money, of course not. No, and that's what keeps it beautiful. That's what keeps our show so lively, is everything that you see is completely legitimate, right? I wake up early in the morning. I make my own coffee. We've got our own light, volunteered, donated from the audience, and everything you see behind us is totally custom made and homemade. We've got humble beginnings with Moontime Devotions, and that's what's always kept it humble beginnings, is we've stayed in humble beginnings the entire way through. And so it's quite the blessing for that. So many people have all the fancy equipment, all the fancy stuff, and all the viewers, and yet they don't have quite the heart or quite the loving spirit that Moontime Devotions has, because we put our heart, our tears, our work, and quite literally our physical energy into this show. because we love you folks so very, very, very much. And it's a blessing to share every morning with you and to talk about life and talk about life advice. As I said in the previous video, and in the video before that, I'm sure, and in this video at one point, please leave in the comments what you would love us to improve, what you would like to hear from us in the future. We love hearing from our audience. This show gets better every time you leave a comment. Even if it's a negative comment, we love criticism. We are open to criticism. As always, thank you for joining me on this Moontime Devotions. I'm Mr. Graham Smith. It's been a wonderful, uncensored, undefined, and unrefined adventure, unedited, unedited as it stands, but we are about to take that into the headquarters. And yeah, folks, we're going to keep it uncensored here, despite YouTube guidelines. We keep this video uncensored, and that's why our life advice, I think, personally, is so powerful. At least that's what people tell me, and there's a lot of life coaches out there, so choose wisely. Seriously, there's a lot of good people out there trying to help, just like me. I just want to keep this little family thing going, and like I said in the very, very, very first video, this is a good self-reflection for myself to see where I can improve. Because if you ain't growing, you're stinking, and you're not moving, and well, personal growth is something we encourage here on Moontime Devotions. Anyway, folks, we love you so much, and we hope this reaches you well. We hope we've been a blessing, and we'll see you next week. God bless.